Hey everyone, welcome back to Matt's Models and More. Let me ask you one question. If there was one single rule for model making, what do you think that question would be? Let's talk about it. Looking for the best aftermarket parts and accessories for your model? Look no further than MCV Products. Bring your models to life at mcvproducts.net. Okay, everyone, welcome back to the bench. This is going to be kind of a neat episode. Won't be a very long one. I just wanted to kind of go over some things that I think are important in the hobby, and I don't want fellow modelers to skip on this because we have a lot of young and upcoming talent, and I want to make sure that they're getting their fair share and they don't want to feel out of place, and they just want to do things that make it fun, which is where it's supposed to be. So what do you think the number one rule would be? In my opinion, the number one rule would be there are no rules. And I'm going to go over some examples of what I mean by that. With model making in general is making a model, whether that's full resin kit like this 79 Ford Fairmont, that's a Futura or Futura or however they pronounced it, but I had that car in high school. That's going to be a full custom built, all resin printed from the ground up, wheels, tires, frame, everything. I'm doing it all. So some people look at that and say, is that a model? Because I didn't buy it in a box kit. It wasn't factory made. So that's just one little example of resin builds. And that is 100% resin, which if you don't know what that means, that is a liquid-based plastic that is molded into a design that somebody made. Well, the last show that we did, I actually put a car in the show, and I'm going to show you here. Let's take a look at it. Something a little different. This is 100% 3D printed and handmade. So in this model, there's wood, plastic, metal, leather, and I'll show all that stuff, in more detail. But this was a rat rod racer, and believe it or not, this is not resin 3D. This is filament. I have a filament printer, and I found this design and decided to kind of, change it up a little bit. It was definitely a lot more, or a lot less radical, I should say, and I decided to make it a rat rod racer. Now, with some of those filament designs that you find, you can't do a whole lot of detail, and you can still see the filament lines in there. I did sand a lot and I did prime a lot, but still showed up, and then the detail on the interior is usually just blacked out. But I had fun with it because I added some things like the supports that go from the firewall to the radiator, and then I added some wires and added a linkage in there. And then of course I did do my resin headlights. Of course the regular kit is just standard. Can't even really tell that they're headlights or just little plastic fills. I heated up the pipes with some, I did the bluing effect, but I used weathering chalks for that, just blue and orange, fading down into the chrome or aluminum or whatever it would be. I also have some 3D printed mirrors that I've gotten. I can't remember where I got those from, but I put that on there and chromed out the front. That sticker I say is 100% resin built or filament built, but it's really not, because I apologize. This sticker kit is actually from the Kill Yarborough NASCAR that Polar Lights did. I stole that, and that kit was old, and those decals were a pain to put on. And then, of course, I've got the decals for your Goodyear slicks. You know, weathered the tires to make it look, you know, like it's been raced. The gas tank is um, filament as well, and made to fit in there. And then I just made some leather belts to go around there, and then, you know, spilled some gas and oil, got some more Cal Yarborough stickers back there, did my resin tail lights and reverse lights. um, Not that this vehicle would even have reverse lights, but uh, and then did some STP stickers on the back window and the moon stickers. But going back to my point is, oh, and I did some exhaust soot going up the side of the vehicle on both sides. And this didn't get a whole lot of attention at the show. Not meaning trophies or anything like that. I'm not worried about that. But anytime I just happen to walk by or look by, or even in the videos that people post of the cars, they kind of went by it real fast. It didn't get a whole lot of attention. And it's because people don't recognize it. I think people see it. It's a larger scale. You can see the size of this compared to my Fairmont. I would guess that this is probably maybe a 112, I'm guessing. It didn't say on the printout, so I'm not sure about that, but it is a lot bigger, but it just didn't get a lot of attention. And it's because there's not a ton of detail. You can tell that it's printed. You can see the lines. I did it real quick to put something in the show. I wanted to put something in the show. So that's one example of, you know, building it your way. I've been talking about this for a long time, that you want to build models your way, no rules. Don't worry about what other people think. I had fun building this. This was absolutely a blast. Probably more fun than I've had in a long time in making something. Didn't take me long. It took about a week. I worked on it about every day. Um, but it was just a blast, and it was something different. And that's what it's about. To me, I think we should, you know, be doing that more. And there are discussions about, you know, 3D printing and stuff like that. You don't see a whole lot of filament printers that, you know, do stuff like this. And I'm finding more and more now. People are starting to do it more and more. So my point is, you can always do, you know, something different than what everybody else is doing. This was another quick build. This was what I call a rebound build. I was having a very hard time with the next model I'm going to show. It was just one of those kits that completely beat me up and was about to win until I stopped and gathered my thoughts and gathered my blood pressure and came and did this real quick. And this is, everybody knows this kit. This is a very popular kit, MPC. It's the Vega, and it's got a lot of stuff on the interior and a lot of stuff underneath and the engine and all that. But you know what? I did not do any of that. I said, I am just going to have fun painting. I am going to tint out the windows. I am going to make it scratch build a wing on it. And I did. It wasn't, you know, highly detailed or anything like that. But, and then I even stretched out some, those aren't even supposed to be used for the actual wheelie bars. They have a shorter one. Those do come in the kit. But I decided to use the longer one since I had the wing. I felt that those sticking out looked a little bit better with the parachute under there. And I did the, you know, I had to cut out those, and I made little, those are hand painted, almost like studs or yeah, I guess they'd be studs going around. But, and then made my own decals. Some of the decals came with the kit, like the stars and some of those sponsored decals, but I made my own Irish pub decals, and also Hickey Racing, which did not show up very well on that green. Hickey did not show up. That was bright yellow, but once you put it on that metallic green from Createx, it just disappeared completely. And this, like I said, I did not put a lot of time into this. This was a quick build. This is a rebound build because the lines there between the green, the silver, and the gold, you can see how heavy those lines are. Those should have been smoothed out. This does not have any clear on it whatsoever. This is all just straight out the Createx bottle. But my point is, you do not have to build it exactly like the kit says to. And I don't know if I would ever put this in the show, and this doesn't mean, that everybody would put it in the show. I'm guessing 85% of people that build models do not put their stuff in a show. So this video is for the masses, not for everybody that does shows. Now my next example is a car that I do put in shows. It will be at Acme as well. This was the one that completely kicked my butt. And I spent a lot of time on this one because I've got a ton of detail in it, from valve stems on the wheels to door lock knobs to getting the perfect satin look that I was looking for. And believe it or not, that does have clear on it. It's not a primer. This is Nardo Gray with a flat clear over it. But I did things like I was lucky enough to get some of these magazines from Irvin from the Art of Rake at the last show. So I decided to put one of those on the dash, did a giant Hemi in this thing, and did about as much detail as I could possibly do, even down to the radiator cap and the brake master cylinder, wiring harnesses, run lines, fuel lines, linkage, all that stuff. Just even got a gold MSD box on this side right there. But this one is not your standard card, and this is the reason why I'm showing this. If I did not say what this car is, you would probably have a hard time guessing what kind of car it is, only because everything's blacked out. The molding was changed. I did a lot of modifications on this. So if this molding came in and went around, then you'd probably notice what car this is more than likely. It's a Belvedere. It's a Plymouth Belvedere. It's the 64. And I wanted to do something completely different. I haven't seen many cars where they do the Nardo Gray or flat satin colors or, the black trim, other than like a newer car. You see newer cars with this. So I'm building this like if I owned it, I would love to have something like this. Low, super long, wheels that stand out. Those are, painted in a bronze gold to kind of match the trim inside the engine bay. But then I did carpet in the back dash package tray area back there. I opened up the trunk, made door jambs or trunk jambs. I put in, let's see if I can get some lighting in here. I put in, let's move this over a little bit. I put in a fuel cell and, of course, plumbed all that, ran the wires, relocated the battery to the back. I've got a support frame roll bar type support for the back end to stiffen that trunk up, and of course everything else is blacked out. But that's my point. It's kind of fun to do something a little bit different, something that's not the ordinary, because again, there's no rules. So if you're a youngin watching this, just know that don't worry about your model being absolutely perfect. Don't worry about it looking a certain way or looking like somebody's that you see at the show. There's just so many things to discuss about that, and I hope y'all will put in the comments how you feel about it, because I just feel like there's a lot of younger people that want to get into the hobby, but they're scared because you go to these shows and you see these amazing builds, and I'm not knocking those at all, because that's what I strive to be. But you don't have to be like them right away. These guys have been doing that for a long, long time. So that's completely understandable. So just know that you can build it your way. And I've been wanting to do this video for a while because that's kind of been bothering me a little bit. Build it your way, the way you want to do it, whether it's a 3D print, whether it's a resin or filament, or heck, you carve it out of wood. You can still put it in a show. Because the whole point of a show is not for you to go and get a trophy or for someone to pat you on the back and say, excellent job. The point is to fellowship, first of all, and then two, support the hobby. The more people we have going to these shows, submitting cars into the shows, that keeps these shows going and going and going, so they can continue to grow. And when they grow, more people get into them, and there's more fun to be had because more people are doing them. So just keep that in mind. I don't want people to absolutely lose their mind on this video just because I'm saying, make it your way or do something different. It's just how it is. You've got so many options. Just build something, make it the way you want to make it, and put it in a show. And even if you don't, go to the show. Go to the show. Give your support. It's not. They're not very expensive to go to those shows. Buy raffle tickets. Raffle tickets help a lot, so buy that. But yeah, that's for instance, most people paint their engines. This is done. The whole thing was done with marker, which I am gonna have to, because I had this built for another car, and I was gonna paint the car white, and the interior was green. That's the reason why I got the green valve covers. I'm going to redo those valve covers for this Fairmont. So I'm going to put this Coyote supercharged Whipple style supercharged motor in my I got some touching up to do there. I must have dropped it or something, but yeah, that's going into my Ford Fairmont, because Lord knows if I had this car today, which I've always loved this body style, I would be putting a Coyote in it. So there's just something cool about that square. And this is considered a Fox body, just like your Mustangs and stuff like that. So that's it, guys. Just wanted to talk about that. And just know that the Acme show is coming up next weekend. So this video is dropping, this is Sunday at 9 a.m. that this video is dropping. And I'm getting ready for the Acme show, getting some stuff touched up. I've got a couple that I'm debuting that I wanted to put on here today, but I didn't want to show it until after the show. I'm very proud of it. Ended up being a really, really nice build. So I'll have that for you with the Acme show. You'll see that in there. So that is next weekend, the 24th, 25th of October, 2025. Huge show. Hope to see y'all there. And until next time, keep on rolling.